What's going on, guys? My name is Matt. I'm going to help you automate your fitness business. Today, I'm going to be going over is Make.com a good solution for fitness coaches, online coaches, and gyms. So first and foremost, Make.com, I want to get one thing out of the way, the pricing, comparing it to the other popular automation platform out there, Zapier. So Make is significantly cheaper than Zapier. For the equivalent, which is the core that I'm on Zapier, the professional, it's like $80 cheaper, right? So if price is something for you, stick around and learn how to use Make because it is going to be easier for you to run your business at a cheaper cost, and that's what we all want to do, right? So straight off the bat, it is cheaper. So let's jump in and have a look at once you've got a Make account. And I'm going to talk about specific situations for fitness coaches, and if this is you, then fantastic, learn and enjoy this one, right? So 99% of the features in Make, you're probably not going to use. Just being super honest with you. Organization, team, scenarios, templates, connections, webhooks, keys, devices, pretty much from data structures to templates, you're not going to use. Custom apps, you're not going to use. You're probably just going to use scenarios. And an easy way to get to a new scenario is just by clicking up here, right? So click on create a new scenario. Ignore 90% of the other stuff because you don't need it. Cool. So when you load up the scenario builder, you are going to get this little plus here that kind of looks like a wireless charging pad. This is going to be your trigger. So a trigger is when something happens, right? So whether that's a new payment or a new lead submission or a new client, whatever it is, that is your trigger. From every trigger, you will then have actions, right? So when we load into Make.com, you will see this information here. There is a bunch of different applications that they have pre-built integrations. You can then set up your own ones with using HTTP, which is a webhook. Like, so if an application has an API, a public API, but it doesn't have a built application integration, then you can use that. I'll get more into that more later, especially with Trainerize. Let me give you an example. You're a fitness coach who gathers form submissions from Typeform, and you want to send that information to your new CRM. So in this example, let's use Go High Level, and you want to send information across. You've looked at Zapier and said, well, this is expensive for just sending one bit of information from Typeform to GHL because you've decided that the GHL forms are ugly and you don't want to use them, which is a valid statement. So what you're going to do is you jump in and you search for Typeform, right? When you click on Typeform, it looks a little bit confusing because you see get a response file. You're like, what's a response file? List responses. I don't want to list the responses. I want to get the responses. Watch responses. Like, am I watching the responses? Anyway, doesn't make sense. What you need to do is watch a specific form for responses. Now, what allows you to do that is watch responses instant, right? So if you click on that, it's going to say webhook. Now, don't be discouraged. It's actually not creating a coded webhook. You're just telling it where to look, right? So if you click on add, it'll ask you to select and connect your Typeform account. If you haven't already done that, do that now. And then it's going to ask you which form, so form ID, which form you want to watch. In this example, I'm just going to use weekly dashboard updated. Right. So you're just going to press save. And now this module is watching that specific Typeform form for submissions. You've created your trigger. From here, you want to send that information to GHL, right? So we're just going to press plus. We're going to type in high level. Oops, we're going to spell it correctly. And we're going to see high level lead connector. What we're going to then do is we need to create a contact first and then create our opportunity. So we're sending our information across. We need to create a contact to house the information, and then we need to create an opportunity, which is our little card in our pipeline. So we're going to press create a contact. Now what we are going to do here is you need to connect your GHL account. If you haven't already done that, do that now just by press add and then go find the API key. It's relatively self-explanatory. The email is always going to be needed. So just say, for example, this is a bad example for the Typeform. So email, let's just say it's this one, and you can select the prerequisite data, the custom field, and then phone, let's just say it's this one, and then first name, I'm just going to write my name, Matt Lamborn. But these can be these custom values. It's entirely up to you. Then you can add in any tags that you need. You can add the address. Depending on how much information you gather on the front end, you can then fill out any custom variables. Press OK. Now we are needing to create an opportunity. So we press the plus, then we select lead connector again. we scroll down and press create an opportunity. Now, this is going to be a little bit different because you need to tell this module which contact do you want to create that opportunity from in high level, right? Because we just created this contract, you would think they're connected by default, but they're technically not. So what you're going to do is go contact ID. You need to map it, which allows you to select one of these, right? So if we don't, it'll just bring up all your contacts from Go High Level. And you need to go to the previous module, which if we collapse all of these, you can see our modules here. So Typeform, High Level. We're going to click on expand this one and we're going to find contact ID, and now we've got the information there. And now you can call this opportunity whatever you want, right? I'm just going to call it Matt Lamborn. And the status is open, and you can assign it to anyone. You can do whatever you like. You can add a tag and press OK, right? What have I missed here? Assign to pipeline. Okay, so you select which pipeline you want it to go into. So for mine, it's knock on automation website and inquired but not booked to call. So this is a very simple automation of a very, very, very common occurrence, is that people love Typeform but hate the GHL forms but still want to use the CRM for GHL. A lot of coaches come to me with this request, and this is how you solve it, right? So in this situation, it's really good. Make is fantastic. That was relatively simple to set up, and it's probably as easy as Zapier, right? However, a couple of those things can be intimidating to you if you don't understand where you're looking, right? That comes with practice and it comes with time. Now, that's a situation where Make is great for a fitness coach, online coach, gym. When is Make a bad or less optimal situation for a coach? Specifically, if you're using something like Trainerize, where in Zapier, it has an integration. So if we bring up Zapier Trainerize, right, you will see this integration that's already been built for you to connect with all of these different applications. So like welcome new clients with outbound emails, right? You can use this on any paid plan on Trainerize. However, you can't do the same on Make. So if we have a look here and we go to add a module, and if we click on plus and we type in Trainerize, it's not going to come up because they don't have a pre-programmed module inside make.com. However, that doesn't mean you can't use it. You can use the HTTP app to create a webhook and send information to the Trainerize API. Now, you only get access to the Trainerize API if you are on a certain payment level of Trainerize. And I believe you have to be on Studio, right? So if we have a look here, we just want the pricing where it shows us access to the API. So you need to be on Studio Plus, right? You need to be on this one here. So you need to be on paying at least $250 a month for this, right? And what this gives you access to is the Trainerize API, which is developers.trainerize.com, and you need a password to get into here, so you can't just access this like me. And you can go through all of these different options, accomplishment get lists, like all of these different options, which are not in Zapier, and you can customize your Trainerize application with all of this in make.com. Crazy, right? This is also used in custom code. So if you're writing an application, a program, you can do that, right? So in URL, right, say for example, we were using this, we wanted to get daily workout, so the daily workout, whichever platform, whatever thing that is, you would put that in URL, you would change this to post because it's a post request, right? And then you would fill out the information that it requires. It's a raw with application JSON, which you don't need to really know right now. But what I'm saying is, if you wanted to create incredibly complex automations on Trainerize or an equivalent in Make, it can be done. However, you just need to know how to use APIs and webhooks. Now that is something that is insanely powerful. So in my opinion, Make is great for a beginner. If you're intermediate, if you're in this, like if you're looking at here, if you're on Pro 5 and you're like, you've got like up to 200 clients or up to 100 clients or whatever, you probably don't need to go full integration, Make, whatever. You probably just use the Zapier. However, if you're above and you're on the Studio Plus, then probably a good idea to start streamlining your operations and making it cheaper for you to interact with the Trainerize API and make it cheaper for you to interact with these platforms, because Make is going to be cheaper than Zapier in the long run, right? So whether or not this is the best solution for you, it really comes down to what is the most cost-effective solution in the long run. So Zapier is good for intermediate. Beginners and advanced is probably where Make sets above the pack. So that's a pretty quick overview of fitness coaches and Make and whatever. Now you can do a lot of things in here. It is very, very powerful. There's like, you can set custom variables and have different flows and all this kind of stuff. I would recommend learning Make, even if it takes you a couple of hours in the beginning, maybe 10 hours more than to learn Zapier. I would highly suggest it because it's super powerful. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one, coming into you from the new office. So awesome. I'll speak to you guys soon.